commercial real estate values in the United States are already down 15.6%. I find that shocking. We will talk about all the details in a minute. We will talk about the winners and losers from the higher for longer Fed. We will talk about Grant Cardone calling his shot. And then finally, I actually want to start with the one and only and frankly great Millennial Mike. Millennial Mike spoke at a conference I was at over the weekend, and he delivered a powerful message that really only hit me when I went back and thought about it. So let me give you that message. Hopefully it hits the same way for you, and then we will get into the Monday financial news. Millennial Mike gets on stage at a conference where he is speaking with Dion, and he says, folks, if you want to be successful, if you want to be rich, if you want to be wealthy, copy people. Get in rooms with folks that are doing it, find mentors, and cheat. Yes, folks, Millennial Mike, cop, SWAT officer, says cheat. Yes, folks, if you want to get wealthy, get rich, get mentors, ask them what they're doing, and copy them. If you guys know the story, Millennial Mike, he and I spoke after he got his first unit. And I told him, Mike, you need to network and learn creative financing. I don't know what it's been. I think it's been about 5 years since that one phone call. And folks, he I think now is at like 26 or 27 units. It is that simple, folks. If you want to get fit, if you want to get six-pack abs, get around people that have six-pack abs. If you want to have a great marriage, a great relationship, get around people that have a great marriage and great relationships. Folks, it is not that hard. Cheat. And as I always say, you may have to fire your friends. Your friends are losers. They are not doing what you want to do. Change your circle. For some of you, you may have to move. It may be that drastic. So again, folks, there are ways to make amazing things happen. Don't try to do it alone. I've admitted over the last 6 months or so that was a mistake. A lot of what we have done, Olivia and I, has really been on our own. We now realize that we could have gone faster and further if we were around other amazing individuals doing the same thing. So I apologize if this video is a little bit wonky. I don't have my normal stand. I am trying to hold this just to make sure that we keep going. So let's talk about commercial real estate being down 15.6%. What is my source? Well, as always, it is Resi Club, Lance Lambert. Here's the breakdown. Let's start with retail. Retail is down 3.2%. Hotels down 5.3%. Industrial down 7.8%. Office. A lot of you thought office would be the max pain, but of course we have told you that's not where you should look. Office is down 19.1%. And the winner chicken dinner, multifamily. Multifamily, folks, is down 26.9%. There's still a lot of pain coming. As you will see in a minute, we'll talk more about this, who the winners and losers are. But there is a lot of pain coming. We talked about them at the event over the weekend. Skill up. We were nice enough to give you the live stream. I've also given you the practice run. I've given you plenty of videos to learn seller financing, CPA, all of that stuff we give away for free. If you want to practice and get better, watch those videos, get your team, and just start practicing. All right, let's move on to higher for longer. I think it has become very clear who are going to be the biggest losers. The biggest losers from higher for longer is one, small businesses. Small businesses don't have the balance sheets, don't have the ability to borrow cheaply. The cost of capital is clearly strangling small business. Next, commercial real estate. We just talked about the entire U.S. is down 15.6%. with multifamily down 26.9%, and I think this gets worse from here. We've got a lot of sins to clean up. Next, regional banks. Regional banks are both tightening lending and seeing their balance sheet thrown into tatters. If you don't know this, the Fed has identified 292 banks, most of them below $10 billion in valuation, so that is called small. 292 banks that are at risk of going under. So again, yes, regional banks are in trouble. Number 4, venture-backed firms. You have heard this undoubtedly from All In Podcast. Venture-backed firms were evaluated at unicorn levels. They are not profitable, can't borrow money, just ugly, ugly, ugly. And then number 5, less wealthy consumers. Think middle America. Again, the folks that are living paycheck to paycheck, it is tough out there. Those all come from Resi Club, but I have two more losers from Higher for Longer, folks. Number 1, we've talked about this for well over a year, stimulus ballers. You know who I'm talking about, those people that bought the Range Rovers, they bought the Lamborghinis, they bought the Rolex and Panamera and all these fancy watches and belts and shoes and purses and nonsense. You can already see people starting to liquidate these on secondhand sites. It is going to get worse. And then finally, the one that I've had a heartburn with is get rich quick, get rich easy schemes. Yes, folks, a lot of folks out there have followed and dove into these get-rich-quick schemes, and they are blowing up left, right, and center. So again, this is part of a recession. Even if we just get into a rolling recession, we have to clean up the nonsense of the last bull market. So again, lots of losers, and if you want to have fun, you could flip the script and figure out who the winners are, i.e. big banks, big business, public companies, wealthy consumers. It's pretty easy to see who the losers and thus the reverse, who the winners are. The good old Meredith Whitney, who accused men who play video games as crashing real estate. That's not a joke, folks. Meredith Whitney wrote up an article that said single men playing video games is the death of real estate. Yes, she said that, or words like that. She now is saying, you know what? This, I want to make sure I get this right. Freddie Mac second position loans could unlock $1 to $3 trillion. What am I talking about, folks? Over the weekend, I issued a urgent update. It was only 3 or 4 minutes long, basically saying Freddie Mac is trying to get into the second loan business. This will unlock money. Again, think about who the winners and losers are. Winners, homeowners. Losers, renters. Folks, if this happens, and if Meredith Whitney is right, even on the low end, think about this. $1 trillion released into the system, and she actually put a date on it. She said we could see $1 trillion by the summer, $2 trillion by the fall. That is nonsense. And here's the beauty, folks. Unlike a lot of the inflation we have seen to date, that is actually not government stimulus. That is debt. Now, some of this debt will be used by folks in trouble. They're worried about job loss. They want to build their reserves. Some of this will be used by consumers because we're stupid. Consumers who have a lot of equity may take the money out and do stupid things like take crazy trips, do this, do that. But that is just what consumers do. This would be, to be clear, inflationary. If we unlock $1 to $3 trillion, that will be inflationary. Just no question. It's just bad, bad, bad. I don't know if you saw that the Lumberjack was at the Berkshire Hathaway session. I can't wait to talk to him. He was actually in the room with Warren Buffett. He was answering questions. Lots of things to talk about there, but what I noticed is he trimmed his Apple stock. Apple stock has been a big portion of Berkshire Hathaway for a long time. It looks like he reduced Apple by 13%. Is that just diversification? Is that just raising cash? Not sure, but very, very interesting. Let's talk about stocks. We got a lot of stocks. We are over the peak, but there's still a lot of stocks to talk about. Today, after hours, I believe Palantir and Lucid report. It'll be very interesting to see what's going on in the EV market with Lucid as well as security software stocks. Tomorrow we get Ferrari. That ought to be an interesting report. Disney, Electronic Arts, and Rivian. Wednesday we will get Uber, Airbnb, Shopify, and Trade Desk. Thursday, U.S. Foods and Hyatt Hotels. And then finally, on Friday, we will get Canada-based Enbridge. Enbridge is interesting because Warren Buffett highlighted he might be looking at a Canada-based company. There was a couple people that I follow guessed it might be Enbridge. So who knows? I don't know. No information. Just thought it'd be interesting. Again, Millennial Mike says, if you want to get wealthy, you want to get fit, you want to do something amazing, cheat. Get around people that are already doing it and do what they do. Very wise advice. Let's go to Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone, I think it was about 6 months ago, I highlighted Grant Cardone because he was going to talk about buying real estate, right? Big commercial Class I buildings. And he said, I won't get debt. I will pay cash. Well, folks, it looks like he has called his shot. He is currently in contract to close 1,200 units for $500 million, all cash. Again, think about this, folks. If you're paying for a building Class A, you get a discount, you pay all cash. You are sitting in a great position for when eventually, and eventually could be a long time, rates come in and you refi and pull your capital back. I think it is a very interesting thing to look at. Again, I know all of us can't play in that 500 million game, but you can take that mindset. You can take that mindset of, you know what, let's get a deal, let's close on cash, and let's move forward and then refi later, extract capital later. I think that is genius. Yahoo Finance, I think Yahoo Finance is watching our channel. They're talking about the return to the 1970s. Where does that sound familiar? Where inflation is sticky, interest rates are hot, consumer purchasing power is down. We have housing stagnating, but not prices falling. Let's be clear, prices aren't falling. And we have stagflation. These are all things we have talked about on this channel a lot. Final thought, we are seeing apparently based on retailers that retailers are starting to cut prices and put on sales. If you've been following retailers like I have for the last 18 to 24 months, they even through the holidays did not have the same level of discounting. That appears to be changing. And again, what will that mean? Will we have more disinflation? Will we have true deflation? I don't know, folks, but it is never boring out there in the U.S. economy. I hope you have an amazing day. Again, remember, folks, if you want to do something amazing, you want to make some life-changing decisions, just copy what Millennial Mike did. Cheat. Find somebody doing it and copy what they're doing. All right, folks, have an amazing day. Take care of yourself. That is the Daily Financial News. Later.